Look, let's just get all our ducks in a row because it's nice and simple. When it does come to the golden up or the brown down, we only give out one a week, and sometimes we won't give out any at all because they have to be earned. What do you think this is? A star rating? Jokes. But my name is Simon Miller, you are watching What Culture Wrestling, and can you believe it? We've had another episode of WWE SmackDown, so there's only one thing to do before we can put it to bed, and that is give the good bits an up, give the bad bits a down, and try and figure out if actually it was any good or not, especially because we are on that road to WrestleMania. That's the WrestleMania wiggle. So let's get on with it and let's up those smacker downs. The start of WWE shows are infinitely better since we had our big change back in December of 2018. I mean, we still get big promo segments, but when you care about the story, you're going to enjoy what you're seeing. It was Charlotte Flair who kicked things off, and her message was nice and simple. She knows that Becky Lynch is injured, but she also knows someone that is healthy and is ready to go. That's right, Repo Man. Well, no, she didn't say that. She was referring to herself, but I heard Repo Man. And before she could go on, before she could say anything else, Becky Lynch, the suspended Becky Lynch, came out of the crowd and got in her face. They yelled at each other for a bit, which I presume will be the justification for adding Charlotte into that WrestleMania 35 main event. And I know you're really mad, you just want to see Ronda versus Becky one-on-one, but I promise you, adding Charlotte into anything is going to be okay. But that got cut off. Why? Because Triple H arrived. He was there to get Lynch out of the building because, rightfully so, she was suspended and she wasn't meant to be there. And then all of a sudden, this turned into one of the best, or at least one of the most compelling stories WWE has told us for some time. The game made it clear that it's pretty easy for Becky to sort all this stuff out. All she has to do is go to the doctor, get cleared, and then she can go on to the show of shows and fight Ronda Rousey. Unless, as Triple H mused, you don't actually want that, Becky Lynch, because after all your hard work, after getting to the top of the mountain, you arrived and thought, oh no, I'm a little bit scared, I don't think I can do this. How on earth am I going to get myself out of this situation? I know, I can feign a knee injury. And I like that because I have been thinking, just go and see the doc, Bex, and you can sort all this out. But she had a retort of her own. She doesn't trust the system. She thinks the system is against her because she was never meant to be in this spot to begin with. So if she goes and sees a WWE medical professional, they'll take her out of the main event so that Charlotte, the chosen one, can be inserted in there instead. That, my friends, is layering like a damn onion. Lynch also slapped Mr. NXT and then smirked like she couldn't give two hoots. And let me tell you this whole segment was incredibly well done. One thing that I do want to address though are these face and heel turns that keep coming out of nowhere. Charlotte, she walked down that ramp with a look on her face that she wanted to bite people's heads off if they said anything. And then when Triple H made his point known, he was telling the fans to shut up. You don't have to be a bad guy, Triple H, especially because last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, you were telling Seth Rollins that you were like, emotional buddies. I mean, I get that Triple H would be mad at Becky Lynch given what she did to Stephanie McMahon, but what did the WWE Universe do? Nothing. We just watched. And I get that it's there to give Becky obstacles to overcome, but it's just being done in a very heavy-handed way, especially because you just know in a few weeks, if they want to flip and flop around again, they will flip and flop. Speaking of people who do flip and flop, it was Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura coming together as a team, and as we know, Ruru is just a bad guy again, and I still haven't been told why. WWE did address the madness in the sense, why would Lana be okay with this, given that it was Shinsuke Nakamura that injured her to begin with, but as the commentary team said, she's just been able to move past it. Well, you know, Lana, you're a better person than I, and I'm glad you were able to find that forgiveness in your heart. As for the match itself, well, it's a tough one. If we are going to team Rusev and Nakamura up for the long haul, then absolutely the first time they have a match, they should be getting the win. Otherwise, it's absolutely a waste of time. Also, yes, I'm biased for Ruru, this we know, he's my hero, and with all that in mind, give it an up. I just don't get what it means for the club. They finally made their way back on SmackDown after about 77,000 years, and then when they get in the ring, not only do they lose, but again, they lose to a tag team that's only just come together. Gallows and Anderson been doing this for ages. Rusev did smash Carl Anderson in the face with a match kick to get the 1, 2, 3, and now I guess we just wait and see what's happening. But when it comes to Gallows and Anderson, All I am going to say is 3 letters. AEW. Mustafa Ali and the Usos then cut promos on Randy Orton and The Miz and Shane McMahon respectively. Mustafa Ali is going to try and beat Randy Orton in their match later, whereas the Usos are going to be on McMiz TV, and you did hear that right, next week, and also they'll win the tag team titles at the Elimination Chamber. You do that, my friends. You do it. That did segue into Ali versus Orton, and we start with a down because we had one of those insert promos with the Viper, and it honestly sounded like he was reading from My First Psychopath book. It's not his fault he was given these lines, but they just sound so generic, and nobody in their right mind would actually allow these words to come out of their face. Doesn't overly matter though, because this match was pretty darn entertaining, and Orton especially reminded us why he's so good at what he does. He was like meticulously taking out Mustafa Ali, who kept counteracting with his high-flying offense, but he forgot about the RKO. And that's why just as Mustafa was about to go for the 054, Orton sneaked up on him, he got his foot, he pulled it backwards, and he smashed him with his finishing move. It looked like he was dead, and it was brilliant. We do have to point out that at some point during this match, Randy accidentally stepped on Ali's face, and his eye properly swelled up, and that looked brutal, but all in all, this ticked my boxes. Give it an up. Even more so because afterwards Samoa Joe popped up and he went absolutely crazy. He choked out Randy Orton, he gave Mustafa Ali some boots, and as he was leaving and Daniel Bryan was making his entrance, Samoa Joe was like, I'm gonna take you out too, WWE Champion, until he clocked eyes on Recyclable Rowan and he backed off, you know, because Recyclable Rowan is really tall. Anytime WWE allows Samoa Joe to come across like he's gone absolutely crazy, I absolutely love it because he is so good at what he does, and in my dreams, I will hope that he does indeed win the Elimination Chamber. In fact, he even did an interview after this backstage saying that's gonna happen, but deep down, I don't think that's gonna happen. But still, Samoa Joe, probably the MVP or one of the MVPs of SmackDown. And I say one of them because then we do get to Daniel Bryan, who continued to show us that he understands how to evolve his character and not just read out of one playbook. So for this and everything that he's done so far in 2019, give him a damn golden up. In the past, when a hometown bad guy would return to his place of birth, they would have done everything possible to stir the pot using cheap heat. But not our eco-friendly champion. He openly admitted he was from Washington, which means finally he could talk to a group of individuals that knew where he was coming from and that was smart enough to understand. Obviously, he still has to address a global population, so he started going off on one, but this was absolutely excellent. He was both the heel and he was the hometown face. Do you know how hard that is to pull off? And Daniel Bryan did it with ease. And it was the same old stuff you'd expect, and even Rowan got some mic time as he tried to make it clear that people just don't understand them. Daniel Bryan understanding who he is and what that person would do. As soon as the crowd started watting Erick Rowan, Daniel Bryan took the mic and said, "Don't you what, my friend? I don't like it." Yes, he was also able to put himself in this weird box where he was able to say, I'm not a bad guy because management likes me, because the guys back there, they don't want to see me as champion either. They don't like what I did to the old title belt, and I don't care what they think. I'm here to represent the planet. And that of course ties into the Elimination Chamber because he does indeed have to fight 5 other people, and he feels like this is the powers that be coming down on him for everything he's talking about. This whole segment just made all the sense in the world and progressed the story about 100 times. Daniel Bryan, you were damn, I can't even think of the word, but you're a damn insert word here. It all ended when Daniel said if anybody else does win at the pay-per-view, it will be a step back for Mother Nature. And now, if anybody tells me, oh, WWE, just the same old, I'm gonna show them this. It was inventive, it was creative, and it was damn fun to watch. Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles then fell out backstage after Hardy had said that he agreed Daniel Bryan had disrespected the old WWE title. Then, yes, Styles interrupted and they yelled at each other to give you the impression that at the Elimination Chamber, nobody's going to be able to get on. And while I enjoyed the sentiment here, well, we didn't really need it. Down. It was then the most confusing segment we've had in a long time. So take your finger, point it towards the floor, down. I don't even know if I've got this right, but I think that Naomi and Carmella have formed a tag team just because why the hell not? What else have we got to do? And even though they entered a match against the Iconics, which both those teams lost because Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were victorious, somehow all 3 of them are going into the Elimination Chamber match for the women's tag team titles. What is that? And it makes even less sense because over on Raw, teams are actually having to qualify through having fights. I don't know what this was, and I need somebody to tell me. Maybe I've got it right, maybe I've got it wrong, maybe I'm on a rocket ship flying towards the sun and I'm about to die. Mandy hit the angel wings on Naomi too to get the win, so doesn't that suck to be Naomi? She formed a tag team, they lose straight away, and she can't even get one over her biggest rival. I don't know what this was. That was even a noise. But that's how I feel. Then Zelina Vega and Andrade basically said their new mission in life was to kill Rey Mysterio, and also said that he was a myth and that he was a legend. He's not a myth, he's a real person. I've seen him in the ring. Because I'm dumb, it took me this long to actually twig that, oh yeah, Zelina Vega has the same name as one of my favorite Street Fighter characters. Because of that, it's gonna get it up. We also had a video showcasing how dominant Asuka has been in the last few weeks, and I agree with you, I get it. Why hasn't she been on SmackDown since the Royal Rumble, especially because she had loads of momentum? But look, it was a really cool video. It made her look like a badass. It really put her over. I'm all right with that. You can give that an up too. Jeff Hardy then beat Daniel Bryan in our main event in what I'm going to call an okay match. Fine. It can have an up, one of those ups, like, yeah, up. This was all about Erick Rowan, who kept getting involved and stealing the pin away from Jeff Hardy. At one point, Hardy had even hit the Swanton Bomb onto Daniel Bryan, but then I think outside, Erick Rowan was like, oh no, look, there's a piece of paper, and he went to grab the piece of paper, and he's like, oh, which bin am I meant to throw it in? I don't want to throw it in the wrong bin, but as he did that, he also managed to grab Jeff Hardy's leg, and he pulled him out the ring too to the floor. That caused the DQ, meaning technically Jeff won, and let's be nerds quickly, because when Bobby Lashley did the exact same thing on Raw, when he was fighting Finn Balor, the referee didn't even care. So that's a continuity error, and when there's continuity errors, I act like a child and I give it a down. Then it just transcended into the chaos that you'd expect. Everybody that's involved in that Elimination Chamber match came out and they were having a big brawl. And at one point, Rowan even chokeslammed Ali onto the announce table, and it looked like a dad who had picked up his kid and hurled him across the bedroom. AJ Styles eventually chased off Bryan, who then got to the back and cut one of his crazy promos with his crazy eyes, because he was saying, look, stop dissing Rowan, he's not my bodyguard, he's my friend, and also, don't you forget, I am gonna be the WWE champion forever. And that is a long time, Daniel Bryan. Forever. That means we're gonna get to the year 4215, and you still gonna be the champ. And if you do that, I guarantee the internet wrestling community will turn against you. I was all right with all of this though, and it gave me confidence that maybe at the pay-per-view, Daniel Bryan is gonna retain, because that's what I wanna see. At WrestleMania 35, I wanna see the Eco Championship on the line. I don't know who beats him. Maybe get like one of those big trucks. Maybe a big truck that's got like loads of emissions beats Daniel Bryan, and then we can all cheer, even though, as we always remember each and every week, Daniel Bryan is correct in everything that he says. Boo. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's SmackDown. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling. The button is right there. It ain't hard. Then head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. And as you are here on WhatCulture Wrestling, go and watch more videos. Go and leave a comment. Go like there too. Just go wrestling video crazy all day. My name is Simon Miller. This was WhatCulture Wrestling, and thank you very much for watching me. I always appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you. And you're damn right, you'll be seeing my bald head again very soon.